We're live in the Caliente garage, joined by the Caliente panel. We got Dustin out here on the Gold Wing riding in real time, and you're talking to us via your Sena 30K. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Gold Wing Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who is fearless. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause in a world of reckless automobiles. These are my motovlogs.
Let's remind everybody too, for those that's listening, we're talking about the product, and we just trying to hash out the goods and the bads. But we got our brother Cold Stone Dustin out there on the wing.
He's rolling.
Yeah, Dustin, which brand you holding on right now, brother?
Right now, I'm rocking the 30K.
The 30K?
It's a loaner from Teaspoon now. It's a loaner from Teaspoon, if that makes any difference. I don't know, but when we used it a couple of weekends ago, it was like, it was fine at first. And after you were connected for a while, it was just three of us connected. It was me, Teaspoon, and Catch. And it worked great. Just like it is, I'm using it right now. No problems. Audio's clear. I can hear you guys perfect. Everything is fine. But after a few hours, I don't know if it heats up, if they need to redesign it, if there's a heat sink problem inside where the electronics is overheating and starts to perform poorly, and that's where all the cracking and popping and everything comes from. But that's what it did to us. It went bad, and guess what I told Chris last week? Teaspoon turned into Optimus Prime when he was talking. Not even a regular Optimus Prime, but Optimus Prime with a rusty carburetor. It sounded pretty bad. It was real weird. But now by myself, as you were saying, like right now, I'm out here in Somerville, Mississippi, riding on the bike, riding through town, connecting audio, and you guys can hear me just fine. So, it's like a real introverted device. It works fine by itself, but you just don't want to play with others.
So let me get this straight. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah. So we're live in the Caliente garage, joined by the Caliente panel. We got Dustin out here on the Gold Wing riding in real time on his Gold Wing motorcycle. And you're talking to us via your Sena 30K. Is that correct?
That is correct. Sena 30K. I don't know, it's probably too dark. You can't see it.
We can see it.
It's a Galaxy S5.
Okay.
Note 5. Sorry, Galaxy Note 5, and that's what I'm rolling. It's working good. It's working good.
Hey, you sound good.
Yeah, you sound real good. Now, just the other day, you guys, some of the Caliente riders you guys went down to Florida, and Catch bike broke down. Now, how was your experience using the Senas in a group ride? How many were you, and how was your experience?
It was just three of us. And like I said, it was great at first. We rode from Hattiesburg to down all the way down into Florida, and it worked fine. As soon as we got to go pick up Angel Eyes, we got to her house. Right before that, everything went crazy. Couldn't hear each other. Started crackling real bad. So we had to turn them off, turn them back on, and repair up, and then everything was okay for a little while. Then I went to doing it again. So every once in a while, either myself or Catch, we would have to reach up, hit the button, turn it off, hit the button, power back up, and it would come back on, and then you could hear everybody. So
was that a mesh conversation?
Yeah, just normal conversation. Everything's working great.
No. Were you in Bluetooth or were you in mesh?
Oh, Bluetooth. I believe we were all Bluetooth.
Okay.
All y'all had 30Ks?
I believe so. Yeah, I know my unit and Teaspoon, his unit was a 30K because it's a paired set. And I'm not sure if Catch was a 20 or a 30. I think his was a 30 as well. Now, when we tried to pair with Troubleshooter and Romeo, I think they had 20K. So that just did not work. We could get one person in, and we had some of us on and off. We could not communicate all at the same time. We just couldn't get it to happen.
Okay. Well, we're live in the Caliente Garage, joined by the Caliente panel. We got Dustin out on the Go Wing, riding in real time, being joined by some of the followers on the Facebook. And if you guys want to call in and give your opinion about this new Sena 50 series, the telephone number is 901-468-9032. And I was reading some of the comments on Facebook, and Eric says that he actually has, I guess, purchased the Sena 50 series. So Eric Weiberg, if you're watching this feed and you want to call in and give us some thoughts about this new Sena 50 series, the telephone number is 901-468-9032. I would love to hear from Eric. He writes the magazine, Motorcycle Magazine. So Eric, if you're watching this live feed, give us a call. We want to hear from you, 901-468-9032, or anybody that's watching this live feed that would like to comment on this new Sena 50 series.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, go ahead.
As soon as that 50S rolled out,
Okay.
and they put it out for sale, I was able to immediately download the user manual for it. And so that's where I learned about a lot of what it says it'll do. One of the things that I did notice, though, and this is, I can't understand why Sena would do this, knowing that it was a big issue. They used the 10S platform as their Bluetooth portion of it. It sounds like it, because you can only pair with 4 people.
Right.
On a 50S in a Bluetooth function, whereas on a 20S you can pair up to 8 people. Now, granted, it doesn't work all that well because, like everybody says here, and everybody agrees, if you have any more than 3 people paired up, you just run into all kinds of snap, crackle, and pop, and all kinds of stuff. But you would think that at the very least they would try to run the up-to-date version of Bluetooth in that. And so, you know, what I'm gathering here is that they say they have a better version of Bluetooth, which is 5.0, but it only has the capability of pairing with 4 other riders.
Yeah.
You would think it would be better than the 20S.
Right. The 20S, you can pair up to 8 riders and 4 riders with the 30K, and now only 4 riders with the lookalike Sena 50 series.
All right, Mr. Caliente, behave, sir. Behave.
And the other thing is, you know, if you are in a room together with 8 other people wearing helmets with 20S Evos or 20Ss on, and you all pair up to each other and you're right in the same room, it's going to work. You won't have all of that other snap, crackle, and pop stuff. It will work because of the close proximity.
Stand by, Mark. You're live with the Caliente panel in the Caliente Garage. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Chris, this is Eric from North America.
How you doing, Eric, from Northwest Rider Magazine? I was actually reading your comment, and it's to my understanding that you actually have the new Sena 50 series. Is that correct?
That is correct. We'll be doing a full review on them in the magazine here. We'll ride them for a month or so before we actually do the full review. But my initial thought on them is they look good. They've made a lot of subtle changes on it. For example, one of just to point out the small things that you don't see in any of the literature is the waterproof capability of them. Whereas before, when the 30K and even the 20S, it was a foam seal where they connected down, and now it is a rubber seal that makes the connection.
Okay.
So that should be good, but there's a lot of subtle improvements in the units. We'll see. When we got our 30Ks, we experienced a lot of the same problems everybody else did. Snap, crackle, pop, and just a lot of issues. And it was to the point that my wife actually had me take it off, put her 20 Evo back on. And we just kept upgrading with every new firmware update that they do, and they finally got to where the 30Ks worked good for us. So I've got a lot of hope that the 50Ss, we got the S series, we didn't get the R, we got the S series. So I'm hoping that, that they brought those improvements that they had made for the 30K. I hope they brought it along into the 50S. We'll find out.
Okay.
I got a question. Eric, you say you're going to be testing it for about a month. Will you be taking out some 30Ks to test with the 50 series to see how compatible they are together?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Okay.
So we've got, and I may even bring in some of the 20S. We've still got some 20S that we'll give some of the staff to use and see how well they even work with it. They won't work on the mesh network, but the Bluetooth connectivity, because they're with the 50S, they've really seemed to be trying to promote their mesh network more than the Bluetooth connectivity.
Right.
And so we'll just see how it works in general all the way around. We're also going to be making some videos on it. Just getting into starting the new video productions and things like that, but that'll be one of our first reviews will be on the 50S.
Okay.
You have a YouTube page?
Yes, we do. We're about four hours south. We're in Centerville, Alabama.
Okay.
We're right over. We're 45 minutes from Barbers.
Okay. Yeah, Eric. Okay. I thought you was, for some reason I was thinking you was in Texas. I didn't realize you was in Alabama.
No, we're in Alabama.
Okay. Now you're the editor of Northwest Rider magazine. Is that correct?
I own and publish the magazine, North American Rider magazine. We used to be Southeastern Rider magazine, and our readership has grown so much that a year ago we changed the name to North American Rider simply because we've got people all over the country that follow us. We are a digital magazine, and it's free each and every month. And if you are on Chris's channel, I normally put a link up there to the most recent and current issue that is out. So if you watch for it, you can see it there. Okay.
All right. This is Eric Weiberg with North American Rider magazine. Now, for the people that's actually watching this video, live feed, how can they access? I know you said you put a link up on my video, but how can they access for the people at home that want to see the North American Rider magazine, Eric?
If they just go to North American Rider magazine.com, all the list of all of our previous magazines are there. They're all free to read. Now I've got like 4 months. The last 4 months are not on there. I've got to go back into it and get those put on. But there's 5 years worth of magazines there that you can read for free.
Okay. 5 years of magazines for free.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate you. And also, Eric, I've been critical about this Sena 50 series because I felt like with that 30K, I felt like they I felt like they didn't stand up to what they said the 30K would do. And I recently did a video and I talked about, I basically felt like, prior to the Sena 50 series coming out, I pretty much said that, I believe it's going to be like the 30K. And in that video, I was pretty critical of the new Sena because, I put a lot of money into buying Sena products. I put a lot of time into the videos, and I just felt like, I felt like the Cardo outperformed them each and every way. And so, to the people that's watching, and I kind of laughed when I saw, some of the things you were saying about, maybe I was speaking too soon without even testing the product. But I just feel like, most people would probably feel the same way I feel, is that, that Sena just let us down when it came to that 30K. And to me, it looks so much the same. And I can be wrong. Again, I haven't had a chance to test the Sena 50 series. I haven't used it. And like I said, if you have it, so I might have spoke early, but it looks so much like the 30K, besides the paint and the jog dial that, I'm wondering, is it really going to be that much better? And also, I know they're supposed to be doing an update that's coming out or that has came out. It's supposed to allow the Sena 50K to, I guess, work like the Sena 50 series. And to me, I don't know, I could be wrong, but to me, it just seems like they're the same. But I don't know. What's your thoughts about that? What's your thought about that, Eric?
Well, only time will tell. I guess that's the best way to answer that. They did come out on May 1st with the release of the upgrade to the Mesh 2 for the 30Ks and several of their other units. I personally have not downloaded into the 30K the new Mesh 2 yet. That's something that we'll do. But like I said, we experienced problems with 30K when we first got them, and it's just I try to stay on top of everything and upgrade everything with the new firmware releases. And eventually, they got to where they worked good for us. But when we first got them, I was with you, my wife, she absolutely hated it, wanted to take it off her helmet, so we went back to the 20S for her. But with the upgrades, it finally did straighten out for us.
Yeah. Well,
I'm hoping those new upgrades are actually within the 50 already.
Well, I just want to put this out here to people that's watching this live feed. We're not here to bash Sena. We're not here to rake them over the coals.
Rake them. Rake them.
We're here to help them.
Hey, I remember we went to Knoxville. We went to Knoxville, Chris, and you had the 30K out there, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah, stand by for 1 second, Brother Cowboy. I'm going to come right back to you. But I just wanted to say, we're not here to bash Sena. We're not here to rake them over the coals, as Brother Cowboy said, rake them. Because it's several people actually in here right now that still use the Sena. I know Mark still uses the Sena. Wes still uses the Sena. Brother Cowboy even still using his Sena.
Yeah, my 20 Evo, it works. It works good between Sue and I. We use it for that. Now we've upgraded to the Cardo. So I like you asked that question earlier. What are we going to do? Are we going to keep them? I'm going to keep the Senas on the other helmets, but the Cardos are going to go on the new helmets, so that if we do run into some of the brothers here that have Senas, then we don't have to try to pair up with the Cardo and all that. We'll just put on our Sena helmets,
Yeah. So like I was saying, we're not here to bash Sena, and like I said, people in the group right now are still using Sena. But I must say that I sold my Sena. I had two.
So you bashed them.
Jump ship.
Y'all making me laugh, but I had
ye of little faith.
He bashed them.
Well, when we started out, I used to write, I was a staff writer for Born to Ride magazine, and some of you may be familiar with that magazine. And we started out doing product reviews. We did the Cardos back then, and they worked good for us, and it was just a matter of a personal preference. I didn't like the 3-button system. We ride year-round, like most of you guys, and at the time we were living in the North Georgia mountains over near the tail of the Dragon, and with the heavy winter gloves on, it was just much easier to use the jog dial on the Sena, and that was really the only reason why we switched.
Right.
The Cardo systems worked fine for us.
Yeah, they worked fine for us in the beginning, for what I was doing with a smaller group. But as we grew and got bigger, and we need a little bit more. So here recently, I just, like I said, I sold all of my Senas, including, if you guys can see this, I had a 20S clamp kit. I had a couple of those. I actually sold, got rid of those. and I sold my Sena. Like I said, my 30K, I got rid of it. And I eventually went to the Cardo, as Brother Cowboy was, alluding to earlier, that when we rode the Natchez Trace back during the Wing Ding, it was so bad. The audio was so bad on my Senas that I was actually embarrassed. I had to actually scrap a lot of the video footage that we took. It was hard getting connected. And once we got everything connected, once we started riding, we got disconnected. So, it was just a nightmare with those Senas. So now, for the Caliente riders, we're going with the Cardo. I mean, just here the other day, we spend the day installing Cardos in the headsets. I mean, into the helmets. So we're so impressed with the Cardos now that I don't think I can go back with a Sena. I think a lot of people probably feel the same way when it comes to the Sena, is that the Cardo is just so much better. It's just so much better in each and every way. So the 50K that just came out, it may be a good headset, but I would probably never find out no time soon, because I'm happy with the Cardo.
He ain't never going back.
I ain't never going back.
And that's a good thing if all your crew that you ride with on a regular basis is on. The Cardos are a great unit. And I think with us, we used to lead a ride in North Georgia up into Tennessee and North Carolina every month. We would go to different spots, and our crew all used the Sena units. And so when it really comes down to it, there's some preferences that one person might like this one a little better, one person likes another one a little bit better. They're all, from what we've done in the reviews, they've all got issues, they've all got their good points, and it's what works best for you. And I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Like I say, I'm kind of biased right now. I like what the Cardo's been doing. I like what Cardo stands for. Again, I took the entire day installing Cardos into some helmets just the other day, and I'll be putting up some videos of that soon, of the installation of the Cardos. But we absolutely love them for what they do. I mean, we require a lot of horsepower, and it just seems like the Cardo is the way to go at this point. But keep us posted, Eric, on the new Sena 50 series that just came out. Keep us posted. Let us know what's going on with it. If any of you that's watching this live feed would like to comment on this new Sena 50 series, you can give us a call, 901-468-9032. And we're on with the Caliente panel. On the phone is Eric Weinberg of North American Rider Magazine.
Eric.
Yes, sir.
Hey, sir, this is D-Lo in Las Vegas. Nice to speak with you, sir. I had a quick question. When you decide to run the tests for the 50 series, help educate me. Are you using the 50R and 50S? Because I'm trying to understand what the difference is.
No, we just got the 50S set to go with. Basically, the only difference, from what I can tell by doing the research on it and everything, basically the only difference between the two is the S is more the traditional style with the jog dial, and the R is a slim, it's a much thinner unit that is a 3-button system, just like the Cardo systems are.
Okay.
Yeah, like the Pack Talk Slim.
Other than that, there's no difference other than the R gets 1 hour less as far as talk time and standby time on them. That's the only difference I can find in them.
Appreciate that, Eric. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate
Hey, Mark, I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, I know Chris has a bigger voice with Sena than I do, and you writing a magazine, writing articles for a magazine or owning a magazine, do you have pretty good contact with Sena representatives? Do they ever ask you personally to review their products?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
But we review, you know, I've done the cardos and everything else, and we you know, we're trying to be as non-biased as we possibly can, because that's the only way. I wouldn't put a review in the magazine if I couldn't be, you know, unbiased about it.
Of course.
Because, you know, that's like, you know, I'm a gold wing rider. I'm on my third gold wing, you know, and my partiality towards gold wing definitely comes across, but I have to be impartial and also provide articles for the Harley riders and the Indian riders and everybody else. So, you know, it's, we try to be fair and, you know, all across the board in every aspect of this lifestyle, this hobby, whatever, however you want to refer to it.
Yeah. Well, for the record, I want to correct Mark. I had a good relationship with Sena.
Hey, they closed the door.
Composure trying to hold you back, Chris. Composure was trying to hold you back, bro.
I don't know if I still have that relationship with Sena right now. You know, I used to get things, or you know, request for some.
You think? You think?
Hey, go knock on the door, Chris. See what happens.
Do you think?
Well, I'd like to ask the group a question if I can while I've got everybody on the line.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And it's kind of going to defeat the comment that I just made about the gold wings and trying to be even across the board. But you know, I've been talking to a couple of owners of some major gold wing aftermarket places and what have you, and they've been trying to encourage me to walk away from all the other brand of bikes and basically come out with another magazine that is solely dedicated towards the gold wing and kind of be a competitor to Wing World. What's everybody's feeling about that? Do we need another gold wing only magazine?
Yes.
You know, I'm gonna jump right in there, Chris. I'm sorry.
You got it.
In Las Vegas. Great question. I hope you do, because it's people like you who look at us, look at someone like Chris, who's done a lot for the Gold Wing motorcycle. I used to be a happy owner of a Victory Vision 2008 tour, fully loaded. Only reason why I switched to a 2015 40th anniversary Gold Wing was because of Mr. Chris Caliente. And not only because the bike was good, but because of the due diligence that Chris did for the bike. I mean, the videos that he made, the information that he was sharing, whether it was good or bad. And I kept thinking, this is an old man's bike. I'll never get one.
Right.
Boy, was I wrong. I was totally wrong. So, you know, Eric, if you come out with the magazine, and gentlemen, if I'm speaking ahead, please let me know. We would hope that you would take us meaning the little people down here that are trying to speak loud enough to say, hey, these are some of the issues that we think are good with the Go Wing, bad. And I contribute to a lot of that. And I'm not, you know, just going to throw it out there because of Chris, you know, and I appreciate what Chris has done. So if you look at the little people like us, you know, and put our voices in the magazine by having comment, I think it'd be great, because for the life of me, I'm still trying to figure out why Wing World hasn't got a hold of Chris. I don't get it.
And I have something for Eric too.
I don't get it.
Eric,
Cowboy.
be a little more let's see, diverse.
Diverse.
Just like the Caliente group is here, you know.
That's right.
You hear from all different backgrounds, you know,
That's
different
right.
races, and do that in your magazine, and you will probably overtake Wing World.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Because if you look at the Chris Caliente panel, you're looking at America.
Hello.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're
That's
looking
it.
at America. It's
Well
not,
said. Well
America's
said.
not one race.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at America when you look at the Chris Caliente group You got all nationalities, man.
That's right. That's
You
right.
just bullseyed that one.
Good point.
Bullseyed that one.
Boy, good point.
Well said. Well said. Well said.
Same thing. Well
And
said.
whoever
Cowboy.
said that gold wings were for old people, and that shows you how old. I started riding a gold wing when I was 28 years old, and I'll be 63 next week. And this will be my second gold wing that I'm on now. I started off with the 1200, then went with the 1500, then I went to the 1800.
So Eric, we invite you, Eric. Bring it on, Eric.
Bring it.
If I could chime in real quick, I think riders and owners like us that spend money on this passion that we have for riding motorcycles and then all the technology that comes with it, I think our voices aren't heard. And I would love to have a forum where we could, where these manufacturers are listening. So we could tell them, hey man, this is what's wrong with your product. Right. This is how we want it to work. This is how we need it to work. Right. And develop products based on our needs. And these guys, they don't ask any questions when they roll these new devices out. Okay, this is the theory, this is how it's going to work, and then you fall short. And they did that with the 30K, and the jury's still out on the 50S or the 50R. But I know when the 30K came out, we were told that it was compatible with the FreeWire, and that's why we bought 14 of them. And when you try to deal with Sena, they ain't having it. They ain't going to give you your money back.
Let me say this. Sorry to jump in there, Mark. And then I want to give the microphone back to Eric Weinberg, because he had something he wanted to say. But that was one of the reasons why I called myself creating this, this platform, was because, I talk to a lot of bikers privately, and as far as the magazine is concerned, as far as GWRRA, so many people feel like the magazine does not reflect the people who actually patronize that business, that actually ride the Gold Wings. This world is made up of people from different, ethnical backgrounds all over. But when you look at the GWRRA magazine, it pretty much just shows one particular race of people, and rarely shows the other races that actually support their magazine and support the GWRRA. And I think that's one of the biggest complaints that I hear about the Wing World magazine. So I challenge Eric Weinberg of the North American Rider magazine, that if you were to do a magazine geared more toward Gold Wings, I think it needs to reflect the people that actually buy their products. This Gold Wing behind me is not cheap. Actually, this is my second Gold Wing. I've never been approached by the GWRRA about their magazine, and that's fine. I have my own platform. I don't need it, but it would be nice to just be asked. But if they if they never call me, that's fine. If they don't never put me in their magazine, that's fine, because I pretty much have my own platform, so I don't worry about it. But I think if somebody's out there, if I myself was gonna have a magazine that talked about these Gold Wings, it will reflect the people that actually ride the motorcycles, not just one particular race. Just like the panel that we have here tonight, we got people from different parts of the country, from different ethnical backgrounds. It's not just one side. So I think that's important when it comes to a magazine, and whoever puts this magazine together, whether it's GWRA or Eric Weinberg, I think that it should just reflect the people that actually ride the bikes.
Americans.
It should reflect Americans. And I'm gonna give the microphone over back to Eric Weinberg.
Well, one of the things when I founded the magazine 6 years ago, my intent was to hear from the average rider, everyday rider, just like you. I had the opportunity to hire professional writers to write my stories, and to me, that is not what we need in magazines. We need to hear from people like you and me
that are out there every day riding and experiencing the problems. And that's what I've always had about our magazine. And all of the authors that write for me are just lay people like everybody else. They write for the love of writing. Our magazine is free, and all of the authors write free of charge. So what you see in our magazine is coming from the heart of the authors. And what I need to do in order to make this transition to a Goldwing oriented magazine is I need to hear from people like y'all. Write an article, write a little blog that we can print in the magazine. I promise you, it will get printed. It's
Well, I love to write.
and I try to leave it. We go through and we'll correct grammar and stuff like that, but we leave it in the terms and in your writing style, so that your your personality comes across in the article itself. We don't try to change that. You don't like something, you write it in the article, we print it. By the same token, if you love something, like Chris's, passion is for, the car tires on the motorcycle. We're not going to hide that. We're going to write about it and write his good points that he brings up about it. And by the same token, if somebody challenges him on that, we're going to print that as well. Because that's how we all center on what we like or dislike about particular products.
Right.
You read, study, you listen to what everybody else has to say, and then you make your decision based upon all of that. And so what I need is people that are willing to send me an article, and let's kick this thing off towards being Goldwing centered, and let's get us another magazine out there that will compete with Wing World.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
You don't have a problem with the grammar of Brother Cowboy now. That grammar, you don't have some problems with it there and everything.
Brother Cowboy, that's a fine shirt you're wearing. What is that?
Yeah, that's the new Chris Caliente. Check it out there. I look good, don't it?
That's really nice.
Yeah, man.
Wow. That's pretty
Be
nice.
wearing mine tomorrow.
I'm going to be wearing it down to East Texas tomorrow with Sister Cowgirl. I'm going to be following her, y'all. So y'all say a special prayer for me, because I'm going to be riding behind her or wherever she might make me get in front. I don't know, but this is going to be her first ride down the freeway and not stopping at some stores. You know what I mean?
We're going to be praying for you, Brother Cowboy. We're going to be praying for you.
Praying that we don't stop at any stores. We just keep rolling.
She's going to find some stores.
Hey,
I was
Eric,
going to say that's a lost cause.
Yeah, Eric, this is D-Lo again. Really quick, we appreciate the offer of being able to allow us to send in the article, whatnot. When you have the opportunity, will you pass that on to Chris as far as a link or how we can email you or some type of way when to get this kicked off and get it started? Because I applaud that idea. I think it's great. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Link to Chris so he can publish it.
Okay.
But I'll just tell you all right now, you remember, it's Eric, ERIC, and then at NorthAmericanRider.com.